17 years. He and his team have done tremendous things to grow and promote the game of golf around the world over the last 2 decades. He has made charitable giving a key component of the PGA Tour, and through the implementation of a charity program, Together Anything's Possible, more than $120 million has been given to charity last year by the PGA Tour tournaments. He joined the PGA Tour nearly 25 years ago and is only the third commissioner in the history of the organization. It is my honor today to introduce our guest of honor, PGA Tour Commissioner Tim Finchem.
Thank you, John. John, you're talking for us. It's 12 years, not 25 years. I'm just kidding. Thank you for coming out and saying hello, and I'm delighted to be here on behalf of the PGA Tour. Jana was nice enough to take me around and introduce me to a lot of you. I appreciate that opportunity. I'm really here just to thank the people in this room who have been so helpful to giving this tournament the support that is needed to stay on our schedule for the last, I think it's 13 years now. And particularly the Jassic family for their stewardship of the property and making the club available, Toronto family for their hotel involvement, and the community leaders that are here and have been involved. The PGA Tour is founded on a partnership concept. It's not like other sports, as you know. We don't have own franchises. We don't ask communities to build us $1 million stadiums. And as such, it's fundamental that we have this three-part partnership between sponsorship, the community, and the Players Association, and it's worked. The business model really does work, and there isn't any better indication of that than what's happened these last 3 years. We've had major, economic downturn. We did fall down a little bit in our charitable giving across the country, a little bit, but we set an all-time record in 08. We fell down a little bit in 9, but we're back up. In fact, this year in 10, as we audit the numbers, I think we're setting an all-time record in 10 again. Over $1.6 billion raised in the history of the tour. So it is very much an organization that's dedicated to charity and creates economic impact. That's why communities are involved, in addition to their general interest in the sport. And maximizing that is really key. And the energy that comes from the community dictates how successful the tournament will be. It's as simple as that. So what we're pleased about, and why we're making a special effort these last couple of years, as things have been more difficult, especially in some of our smaller markets comparatively. The reason we're making a special effort is because of that, the energy that we've seen here in the last few years. I mean, while the economy has been off, and while this certainly isn't the only place, and we've struggled in certain markets and nationally for some title sponsorship, nevertheless here, the overall community, local support from an economic sponsorship standpoint has grown. And Jana's reports to our headquarters are, impressive. I think 40 new sponsors at some level in these last couple of years, and so we start with that premise that we have a great partnership. We want this partnership to last. We're prepared to do what we need to do to help work with you and give this partnership the best chance to go forward in the long term. But if you look at the other elements and what's important about a PGA Tour event, usually you start with the golf course. If you look at it from the interest of the public, the interest of the media, the interest of the fans, and the players, certainly. And I remember being here the first year we played. And I can tell you that since that time, I'll bet you 100 different times when we played at a new golf course, I've made a comment like, it's almost never that we play a tournament on a new golf course And I don't hear one complaint or one recommendation for change, and that's what happened at a week here. The players were just blown away by the course. Now, subsequently, we did get some recommendations, but that always happens when you have 150 players out here, the best players in the world. But they were just blown away and have been ever since. And they look forward to playing here and playing on this beautiful piece of property. It's a great test, and it's just spectacular to play on. So as part of the, if you stand back, look at all the golf courses on the PGA Tour, this one really stands out. The community support is very strong. From a field standpoint, I think you can look forward to what's most important about the PGA Tour today, and that is the youth movement. If you've seen our ads this year, we are highlighting a focus on the young new generation of players competing against the veterans. You know, can the new guys take on Europe and Stricker and Woods and Mickelson and these guys and beat them? And there's a reason for that. If you look at the nationwide tour, it's taken a significant dip younger. Our number one, our leading money winner of the nationwide tour last year was the youngest leading money winner in the history of that tour. We have 35 new players with cards this year. 25 of them are in their 20s. There's more buzz about the young players than there ever has been. The young players are generating television ratings. You know, if you looked at San Diego 2 weeks ago on Saturday, about 4 o'clock Saturday afternoon, you can go down the first 10 players. There's only one real veteran of the top 10. That was Phil. And all the other guys that we've been talking about were up there, and people are excited about it. It's really creating some interest. And so the way this event is structured and its date structure allows for it to be a major focus for these guys coming up and on the verge of being the next Phil. So that's impressive. It's getting more carriage in the media, and I think here we need to take advantage of it. It's always important to have a good date, and we struggled a little bit a couple of years here with dates, but we're delighted that we're moving back to that first week in August date, which moves us away from the celebrity golf competition, moves us away from the hot summer nights a little bit. It ought to allow us to generate more unique economic impact in bringing people here and affecting the things that affect jobs, which is at the end of the day what economic impact is all about. And then, of course, the television transmission. If you're, Reno, you want your message told domestically and internationally, and our broadcast will be in 222 countries. I always wondered why one year is 221, and then we got to 222. We picked up Somalia or something. But 222 countries. I mean, this is a global broadcast. And the other interesting thing about television right now is with the merger of NBC and the Golf Channel, with Comcast buying NBC from GE, it is going to create a unification of the culture of NBC sports with what over the last 15 years has been the Golf Channel. And this is going to be a very positive thing on a couple of fronts. I think we all recognize that NBC sports coverage generally, and in golf in particular, is second to none. So the culture of the way they go about the coverage itself is going to be improved. The other thing is they're great at cross-promotion. So you will see, we've already started to see it, even though the closing, I think, was just the other day, you'll see great cross-promotion between the NBC television properties, CNBC, which is very important to our sponsor base, MSNBC, CNBC itself, and the Golf Channel in terms of bringing the audience. And as Dick Ebersol announced the other day, our golf, whether it's Golf Channel product or traditional NBC product, will be broadcast on NBC or referenced on NBC as the Golf Channel on NBC. So while we've had good distribution increases with the good Golf Channel, I I think now our viewership will continue to go up. It's going to be more value for your sponsors, potential title sponsors, and people around the globe that you want to see what Reno is all about. So that's kind of where we are. We have a good partnership. We want to build on it. We want to work together. We're going to put the staff energy necessary to work with your folks. You've got a great team here now. We've got a great golf course. There's no reason why we can't continue to grow what's here, and that's what we aim to do. So this year, let's take advantage of our new date, take advantage of some of these young guys. We'll also have some veterans here, and we'll work with you to put on the best quality telecast that we can. And again, let me thank, I've been in this business a long time. I know that the people that get involved in our tournaments are doing so because they're committed to the community, they love the sport. There's different reasons, but there's also other things you could do with your time. There's other things you could do with your energy. And to have you be involved with us in this enterprise is very, very special, and it would not happen without your commitment. So again, thanks. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. On behalf of all of us here in Northern Nevada, and in no particular order of importance, the homeowners here in Montreux, the club members, our volunteers who are represented by a lot of our committee chairs, certainly our business sponsors and supporters, our renegades, and certainly our gaming partners. We now will be contributing more because there's somebody they know sit on the commission. We don't want to threaten them or anything like that, because I think that's illegal. We'll kind of encourage them. Is that a good way to put it? I think that's the way to get them to pay attention. We want to thank you, most importantly, because of the commitment of the PGA Tour and you and your staff for all the support you've given us so that we can be energetic, so that we can get excited. Because without your support, believe me, it is very, very difficult to keep going in a tough market. I know you know that. We want to thank you on behalf of all of us that live here that believe in what we're doing. Not just for the product of golf, what golf brings to the community. To young people, gets them excited about being outside and exercising and all the good things that go about integrity and honor, etc. Very important to us. We want to thank you for taking your time to come here. And thank you, the tour, Donna Fedorowicz, her staff, Stephanie, Ty is here. I know you have some folks here. Thank you so much for supporting us. It means a great deal to all of us. That gives us the energy to keep going. Thank you very, very much.
If I could just add two quick footnotes. One, at any point in time in the last 10 years when any of our staff was wavering on whether we ought to stay here in Reno, Senator happened to show up every time. He's like a dog with a bone. He wasn't going to let this thing fail. And of course, all his prognostications 5, 8, 10 years ago were true. The other thing is, I know you have a great first tee chapter here. There's going to be an annual meeting of the first tee next week in San Antonio. We're going to announce our new honorary chairman, President Bush. 41 has been our honorary chairman since '97. There have been 4.8 million kids reached in the United States through the program thus far. But Joe Louis Vera, the executive director, is going to announce the new phase. It's very, very exciting. We'll get you all the information, but thank you. Those of you who have helped, I understand personally all of you have done one way or the other help, so thank you very much for bringing us this far. Thanks.